Chapter 29. Alec tried to sit as he watched another figure on a horse gallop into the scene. The figure led another horse that had no rider, but as Alec wiped blood from his eyes, he saw Colin mount the riderless horse as he and Finn rode off into the night. Alec heard another shot, followed by another yelp of pain as the riders vanished into the darkness. He dragged himself across the rocky terrain until he saw the motionless figure of a dog laying on the ground. Alec again wiped the blood from his eyes and, dragging his bleeding leg, made his way to his friend. "Tundra! Tundra!" Alec called without response. His fears rose, anger about to boil over as a huge, jet-black horse thundered into the area. Robert jumped off Smoke and ran to his friend's side, cradling Alex's head in his lap. "Tundra," Alec said weakly as he drifted into unconsciousness. Robert quickly tied a tourniquet above the bullet wound in his friend's leg and looked up to see the dog laying still in the dirt. As Robert edged closer, the big dog opened his eyes, whimpering softly. "I'll be right back for you, big fella," Robert said as he picked Alec up, draped him over the big black horse's back, and quickly made his way back to town. Alec opened his eyes slowly, looking around. Not being able to see from his right eye due to the bandage that had been wrapped around his head to staunch the bleeding from his brow, he began to panic, tearing away the dressings. "Easy, darling. Easy does it," a calm, soothing voice said. Alec looked through the blurry vision to see Jenny standing next to the bed he lay upon. Trying to sit upright, a searing pain shot through his leg, causing him to once again fall back into the pillows. "Tundra," Alec said with a raspy voice, dry and hoarse from lack of water. Jenny poured a glass of water and assisted Alec to take a drink. "Tundra," he repeated. Alec heard the telltale noise of claws clicking on the wood floor as he looked up through blurry eyes to see the big dog limping across the room to get to his side. Bandages covered his right rear leg, his front right leg, and his left ear. He took the dog's head in both hands and put his forehead against the top of the dog's head, staying in that position for several moments. "Did Robert get wind?" he asked hopefully. "Wind was hit a couple times, but our local vet, Dr. Longfellow, fixed him and Tundra up. Wind'll be sore for a little, and might not be able to outrun Robert's horse for a bit, but he'll be right as rain in a few days," Jenny said, a soft, caring smile on her face. "Tundra had a few bullets taken out, but none of the shots were in serious areas." The door opened and Robert walked in, followed closely by Rosalie. "Thank you, my friend," Alec said, laying back, still scratching the thick fur on the dog's neck. Robert put a hand on Alec's shoulder and said, "That's two you owe me, Deputy Marshal." Alec attempted a smile and winced as emotion caused his split lip to crack open and bleed slightly. "You look like shit," Robert said, matter-of-factly. "Feel like it," Alec said, groaning. "Any idea where they went?" "One of his boys gave up a hideout a few miles west of here," Robert stated. "I'm going to check it out today." "Not without me," Alec said, swinging his legs off the bed where he lay. The room spun and Alec's head swam, causing him to fall back into the pillows. "You hang tight. I'll go check it out," Robert said calmly. "Take some men with you," Alec said. "Colin is unhinged, and he's bound to do anything. Damn near killed. Would've if Tundra hadn't shown up." Tundra whimpered as he lay down next to the bed, his chin resting on Robert's foot. Robert looked down and gently pat the dog on the head, careful not to touch his injured ear. "We took a bit of a hit, but we'll regroup and get them bastards," Robert said, surety in his voice. "And we got a wee bits of help, laddie." A familiar voice sounded from the doorway. Alec looked up to see Seamus standing there, smile spread wide. "Alec?" said a voice from behind Seamus. Alec lifted his head slightly to see Lily peering around the doorframe in the bulk of Seamus. He held a hand out and she came to his side, holding his hand and kissing him gently on the cheek. Jenny smiled from the other side of the room and said, "Lily, perhaps we should let him get some rest." Alec sat up, wrapped his arms around Lily, and kissed her solidly on the lips. "I love you," he said, looking deeply into her eyes. "I love you," she replied. "You clean up nice." Alec chuckled, causing him to cough. "What are you doing here?" "Seamus insisted on coming to help, so I had to come with him," Lily explained. "And she didn't come alone, laddie," Seamus said as men started filling the room. Most of them Alec knew from the tiny railroad town, and he recognized the man that took the beating at the Shamrock. "Thank you, Seamus. Thank you for keeping my girl safe," Alec said with gratitude. Seamus winked and said, "You get some shut-eye, lad. We'll go get them rotten bastards as soon as you're able."